Dude, there's so many. And we're live. Hello, hello. Let me just turn that off. We are set up on way too many things right now. So hold on, hold on. All right, yeah, we're live. We are on X. We are streaming. It's an X space. We're trying BitGet Live. There's there's a little feedback. So let me just make sure. Hold, hang on. Okay. Hey guys, we're here. We're live, and I'm still hearing feedback. Okay. Dramatic entry. Here we are. We're hitting new all-time highs on Bitcoin, and that is the indicator that we are in a bull market. Now, not too long ago, I remember it dipped down to $74,000. And there were some people calling like if it broke 74, Bitcoin would be broke. But if it didn't, that would be the recent bottom. So they were right. I was really surprised about that because things were going really bad in the macro investing environment with these crazy tariffs. And now we went from 74,000 to now $111,000. So just wanted to hop on stream and chat about what's going on. And yeah, we'll make some content. We'll chat with people. Hello, thanks for joining the stream, Nick, Nifemi, and more. So we're here, and yeah, just gonna talk about what's going on. Now, it's hard to invest in Bitcoin, I'll be honest with you, because the hardest thing about it is holding long term, but it's been the best investment that many people have made. If you were here during the last crypto cycle, most of your bags went to zero. Everyone had an amazing narrative, an amazing story, amazing technology, but the price went down. And that's because a lot of the demand doesn't meet those expectations. But what we learned is how to play those narratives in the right momentum. So even if something isn't going to be good, if the story behind it is good, if there are people behind it, if they're backing it, if the community sentiment is high, I'd say ride that out. Try to make as much gains as you can during a short period of time and sell, which is the hardest thing to do. But that's how you make money in crypto during this bull market. Now, I have a few tweets that I'm going to bring up as examples because they really hit home with the mindset of crypto investors where, yeah, you can make $1,000,000 from $1,000, but you'll also write that back down to zero because you don't have any risk management skills. That same risk level allowed you to make a huge amount of gains, but it also caused you to lose those gains. Now, when you are investing in crypto like this, momentum is everything. So everything is going to go up because it's going to have that momentum. It's going to have a lot of money flowing into crypto, a lot of new users, and we want to be able to navigate that to the best of our ability. We want to learn from previous pain to turn that into champagne. I'm stealing something from Josh. He says it very well. Turn that pain into champagne. So we're going to use those previous painful lessons to make the most out of this bull market. So while I find these tweets, just because I didn't prepare anything, I was just like, all right, well, maybe hop on stream, chat with people, answer some questions if you got them. So drop them in the comments, and we will come up with some strategies to do in this bull market. Now, a lot of the smaller altcoins have been lagging, so that could be an opportunity if the community is there. You know, we saw Cardano, we saw XRP, and a couple other of these legacy coins really pump up in the last market. without having to do much in their ecosystem to actually draw users and build up demand for it. And that could happen again because when people love something, even if they don't use it, they're gonna keep recommending it. A lot of people do that with Bitcoin because using Bitcoin kind of sucks. I'll be honest with you. It is terrible. It is anxiety inducing. It is slow. And even just the addresses are confusing because there's like several types of addresses. So I think you can make it if you kind of navigate that. So I found the tweets that I wanted to bring up here. And this is by Loopify. The skill to hold a position from $1,000 to $1 million is called bad risk management. Nearly 90%, nearly 99% of the people who can hold a position from $1,000 to $1 million will hold it from $1 million to 1,000. So yeah, that's essentially it. Now, if we go into this, the most delusional guy will make 10 million from nothing and then lose 9 million, and people will say he made a mistake. Now, that is the reason he went from 10 to 1 and he went from 0 to 10. So if you remember Dogecoin Millionaire, he invested in Dogecoin early on and made a lot of money and made a reputation behind himself as being the Dogecoin investor and being a genius for seeing the signs, and went on these podcasts and then round tripped it. And then he became a crypto personality shilling absolute trash. So let's see if we can find him. I believe he goes by Pro the Doge. Let's see what he's been tweeting about. I'm gonna say I'm a little jealous. He has a huge following. He gets a lot of sponsorships. Obviously, email the Dogecoin Millionaire at Gmail for sponsorship opportunities. And that's because he has that audience and shills absolute trash. So that's just another thing you have to look out for. There are going to be people who say they can make 100x, who say they can turn you into a millionaire, but a lot of that is kind of just bad risk management and a lot of luck. So when that happens, they become big influencers, and yeah, we can see that. So we can probably go through his tweets, but if you look at Pro the Doge, and then the real search term, Zach XBT, let's see what we have here. Did I spell it wrong? I did. And I'm getting a little feedback from my other phone, so hang on. All right. So we can see here October 24, 2023. I know a year and a half ago, it seems the influencer Pro the Doge is back at it again, promoting scams as an official partner of the project. This time it was Saphirium, which is a terrible name, and instinctively, like just by hearing it, like, oh, that sounds like a rug pull. And it was. And they rugged $1.2 million from the project that he promoted. So if you want to stay safe in this crypto cycle, try to not get greedy. Try not to make those quick gains. Try not to be the first one investing in something that's completely brand new, because in most cases, this is going to happen. When we go into these bull cycles, there are going to be a lot of projects that gain a lot of traction immediately, and just as quickly they will rug. So you want to be very careful. Even if we read how he was promoting this, I just discovered a new meme coin. I'm pretty bullish on it. Then he says the meme coin name, #1 trending on Dex tools. That doesn't really mean anything. $4.4 million market cap. That was the current price. Locked LP for 1 year, which doesn't matter, because if you launch on a decentralized exchange, you can just be one of the first people to buy the coin, so it doesn't really matter if you have dead coins a year later. They have done 5 audits on the contract, and again, audits don't matter. If you have a crappy auditor or you just pay someone for the audit name, then it doesn't really matter. Because I've met some people who are building on Hyperliquid, and they mentioned that, yeah, you can get an audit from this place but it's like 5 times like more expensive with something like Open Zeppelin, because I was talking with some of the Open Zeppelin guys, but they do a good job. They don't do like a flat rate. They really just dig into everything. So you have to qualify these auditors. That's just one thing. And if a project does have audits, it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean that it's going to be a good investment. So we really have to look past these things, and we want to understand what is being built, what we're investing in, and what is the risk. So if you want to learn more about that, there is going to be a Discord. It is linked up in my X. I don't think I put it on the video live streams, but yeah, if you find me on X, there is a link to it right now. And that is turning into something. It's off-brand crypto. It's going to be the community for you, the community for someone that is investing in crypto, helps you navigate these things, and a couple other things that we can't announce yet. So you might want to be early. Let's see what we got here. Can you recommend any alt alpha? So there are quite a bit of alts to invest in right now. I'd probably just hold Bitcoin and Ethereum. We want to ride out the momentum. Once Bitcoin slows down for a couple days or something, some of that money might start flowing into alts, and then we might see more flow into Ethereum. We might see more flow into other blockchains that have been lagging behind. So there's quite a few things. There's no way to really navigate it properly because everything's just going to go up, and we don't know which one's going to go up more than the other. So that is kind of the risk, but I'd say just invest in things you like. Invest in things you understand, where you use it, you think it's a good experience, you see the growth there. And for that reason, I've been investing in Sui Network. If we're looking at Sui Network, yes, it is a pretty high market cap, but I think they're going to continue building. They have a couple big updates coming up, so that's something I'm holding on to. And some of the alts within the Sui ecosystem, I think NS is undervalued. That's the Sui name service. I know it's just a name coin, but I think that one's undervalued. I think it has a lot more utility than people think it does, and there will be ways to really bring that out. Because you can say that for a lot of other coins too that people maybe don't really use, like Uniswap. You know, you can swap without the coin, but maybe you want to earn some fees and do some other things. That still won't necessarily be enough to drive value to a coin. So those are just my thoughts right now. Let's see if we have anyone joining. I think Josh is going to join soon. Let's see what we have on X. We haven't done a lot of X spaces, so this is one. We got one person here, so that's all right. But we got more on the video streams, and we are hosting it from the off-brand crypto Twitter account. So yeah, I just wanted to go over that, and maybe we'll go over some other news. Let's see some key market updates from BitGet. Texas House approves strategic Bitcoin reserve bill. Bitcoin overtakes Amazon as the 5th largest asset, hitting 2.16 trillion. One Bitcoin now costs more than 1 kilogram of gold. So that's some recent news from Sui Network. Real-world assets are coming on-chain in a whole new way. OMG Assembly is launching exclusively on Sui, letting users mint soul-bound tokens as credentials to access their RWA investment platform, opening doors to opportunities like commodities, private credit, GPUs, and more. All right, so this could turn into something. We don't know if there's a coin or not. They do have a Discord, which is kind of weird. Your RWA, your TradeFi, but you don't have a website. You go directly to a Discord. I don't know. We'll see about that. We'll see about that. So it's like, you know, if you have a Discord, that means your target demographic is immediately crypto degens. You have a website, maybe something more traditional. So, you know, we can always be a little bit unbiased and try to like break these things down. Let's see, where is the sell button? So yeah, that's hidden right now, I guess. That's hidden for the next few months. There's no sell, there's only buy, but we can also scroll to the right, and we're just looking at this. Yeah, if we even zoom in, it's just picking up every few minutes. I mean, we could, but it's kind of funny. You got to look at your name, bro. Your name says Bitcoin to 150K, and we're talking about the Bitcoin price, and will dump soon. That's possible. These things are really not predictable. Everyone makes a prediction. No one is always 100% right about all their predictions. So we really can't rely on any of that. We just want to have good risk management, and we want to make those gains when we can. So that is just something to consider. Now I'm just going to go here and come up with some other tweets that I want to bring up, just because I don't really prepare things for these chats. I just want to do my live stream for the day. Just build out that content, maybe answer some questions. So if you have those, that makes it easy. And yeah, there's some issues with like different ecosystems that are growing. If you have an NFT platform, do you have projects that want to have NFTs on there? Do you have a good experience for people? So I saw this tweet by Cleverman Shadow Alex, and that is an interesting name, Cleverman. We need a better NFT launchpad marketplace on Sui Network than Tradeport. $3 service fee on free mint collections, 3% overall fee for poor work, 0 work on weekends, 10% from minting funds. Check Animal Labs IO Launchpad, $1 service fee, 0% taken from minting funds, and more. So right now there are 3 different NFT platforms that are available on Sui. I believe that is Tradeport. Animal Labs has their Launchpad, and you can actually create and mint NFTs there, I believe. And then you have Blue Move. I think that is the 3rd one. But for the most part, NFT volume on Sui hasn't been amazing, but it has been picking up. So there have been some trending NFT collections, most notable Doonies, which people love. People have been talking about Doonies a lot. I had one. I'm going to say had one because I bought it at 20. I just put a market bid, and then I sold it at 82, which I feel pretty good about. Now that the price has gone down, I feel pretty good about. So, these are just the NFTs that are available on Sui. Let's zoom in here. Let's see what you can see. So Adidas launched one with Society. So Adidas, the sports brand, and Society, which is a Web3 game that you can play on the Sui Play and maybe other platforms. So I think we got someone here. We got GPT Josh joining us. Josh, welcome.
Hey, thank you.
I'm gonna go
I
with
don't
this.
have my camera right now, but
No worries, no worries. We'll keep you like this, so it's all good. We can hear your voice. Let's see if actually, let me reposition this so my microphone also picks you up for the X space, unless you're also in the X space already.
I am not in the X space.
All right, I'll set it
I
up so
can
you pick it
join
up.
the.
But I'd say that's pretty low priority because we have one person there. I mean, no offense to BitTrends, but
Yeah.
we got other people, we got clips, and we're slowly growing these different platforms. So I guess it's good to have this activity there. And maybe I should have hosted from my account. So, but it's all good. We also have the live stream available on X at the moment, and we're just kind of looking at different things happening in crypto. We kind of floated into Sui. We looked at some Sui NFT platforms, and now we were just kind of looking at some of the collections.
Yes, indeed. But yeah, I mean, we show up every day, even at the early stages for these new platforms and projects. You can expect the team to be present and covering everything going on in the markets. So we got Bitcoin, new all-time high.
Whew, yeah. Yeah, Bitcoin new
Uh,
all-time high. It's like just under 112,000. It's kind of right there.
wow. And
Yeah.
what do you think this means for the altcoin market?
I think in a couple days, maybe by Monday, that might start flowing into the altcoin markets where like, all right, people made some money on Bitcoin, flows into a little into Ethereum, alt markets start pumping, and then we have a lot of speculation. Because then, once we start having that speculation, that's alt season. Now, some people think it's going to dump, and that's also possible, but you honestly can't predict these things. No one has predicted every move accurately, except for Sailor, who's just long-term Bitcoin, just long-term, no other thesis. It works.
Yes, indeed. And honestly, I don't mind a responsible short at these levels, because, as people mentioned, you could always see a pullback um,
Mhm.
as it goes in crypto. However, if we do see a good rotation into ETH, I am actually very optimistic on alt season finally coming upon us, like a true alt season, because I think what's been holding us back is how ETH was performing over the last, couple months.
Mhm.
Wasn't that great. But now that we're starting to get a good strength, and if we see ETH get a good rotation here at the top, I believe that's alt season.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because once ETH starts pumping, all the different altcoins that are paired against ETH in these liquidity pools also gain value.
Exactly.
So I am pretty excited about that. But honestly, I don't know why. I was more excited in December when we had all the AI pumps, and I guess I had full exposure to like these 50% daily pumps.
Yeah, I mean, you were the AI agent guy, and you were right in the heat of it, right in the thick of that meta
Right.
really going viral. So, I
But
mean,
no one
that was
kept me grounded.
fantastic.
Lost so much money on that.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, because at first I'm sure you made some money, and it's like, okay, let's go, and that goes to show how quickly some narratives can come and go. Because that topped relatively quickly, in my opinion, for what it is.
Mhm.
But I believe it'll be back. But there'll be new projects and such.
I think we have a comment about your audio. Yo, bro, in the church or something?
Is there an echo?
There was a little bit. I think it's because the connection quality dropped a little bit.
Let me get my headphones.
Okay, so let's see, Monero to $20. Maybe, I don't know. A lot of people don't use Monero. A lot of the newer exchanges might not even support it because it is its own blockchain. But it's privacy. Privacy is pretty good. That could be a thing if they start using AI to try and track, your trades and have these tax obligations. At least that's what I've heard from a lawyer. But you know, it's really hard for them to really grow and gain attention outside of the people that want privacy. And with some of these newer blockchains, they are introducing ways where you can have that privacy on a public blockchain. So I'd say that's a tough one. I'd say good luck. If it happens, you called it. Brainiac Blitz. He calls
How's this
Monero to
audio
20,000.
sounding?
Go ahead.
Testing, testing. Is this better?
It is better. It's a little low. No, full screen here. We're also on
Yo,
BitGet
bro,
Live.
you
We
want
got
to switch or something? That's pretty funny. What does that mean? I just seen Barrett Donald's comment. Echo on Josh. Thanks, Eddie.
yeah, all good. So yeah, we got we're still building up these platforms, even trying BitGet Live. We have one person there, one person in our oh no, two people. Yes. Man, I forgot his name, but Shankara 2006. Yes, we met in Dubai at Sui Base Camp. Really cool dude. Very, very earnest. There to learn everything about what's happening and connecting with everyone on the Dubai scene for Sui. So yeah, that's your inside guy, and he actually posts really great content on X. So I do recommend giving him a follow, based following news trends. So maybe some airdrops too. And we got Eddie here. What's up, Eddie? I think I'm gonna see you tonight at a pizza event. So yeah, this is the first Bitcoin Pizza Day where Bitcoin actually pumped. I think this is the first Bitcoin Pizza Day where that happened, where people weren't sadly eating pizza on Bitcoin Pizza Day.
Bitcoin Pizza Day pump. Look at that. And you guys are going to a pizza event.
Yes, it's here in Taipei. It's hosted by some of the people we met in Dubai. So it's like the Card 3 folks. They do off-chain global, which does these real-world crypto events, and they're hosting a
Nice,
pizza event in Taipei tonight.
nice. I'm wondering, maybe the echo. Do you have your speakers on?
I
And is your
do have my
speakers picking
speakers
up your
on.
mic?
Yes, that me? Is that on me then?
I think it's your mic picking up your
Oh,
speakers because I have
dang.
my AirPods in.
That's on me, bro. All right, sorry about that. All right,
No worries.
we're not gonna hear Josh. Actually, maybe. Let me set this up. I'm gonna have one earphone on the phone, so we have sound on the X Space. All right,
Nice. So
Josh.
now there should be no echo.
Yeah, let's see.
Right.
All right, so Josh, you there?
Yep. You can
All
hear me?
right, I can hear you. I can hear you clearly. And
Yeah.
yes, so now we got, yeah, this, this is how we're
Nice.
setting that up. All right.
Nice.
So yeah, I'm glad some people find the sweet content. I was really happy to see so many people that actually recognized me at Sweet Basecamp for some of the crypto content. So
That was crazy.
awesome. That was crazy. That doesn't
That
happen
was
at
crazy.
any
I was
other
there.
event.
Yeah, like you got spotted so many times. I think you
I
got spotted at Token 2049 as well, like one or two
There were
times
other
at least.
creators. I think it's mostly other creators too. So
Okay.
that's okay too. You know, we support the creator community. That's who we are, and we want
Yep.
to help educate and give insights where we can, because we're here every day. We see all the pain. Maybe we're not posting or making content every day, but we're reading the news every day, and most of the time it's bad. Today it's good.
Yeah.
So yes, we
Thankfully.
want to enjoy these days.
Embrace it. Embrace it
Mhm.
because we've seen a lot of ups and downs in the crypto space, but it's nice to see some green days as we're seeing today. But that was so cool. So many people recognize you as Sui Basecamp, as one of the
Yes.
early Sui sort of KOLs and content creators. And somebody gave you a block of cheese,
Yes,
right?
yes. So I posted that picture on X where this guy from Nepal, he runs this developer community there, over 70 move devs. And he said, yeah, he watches my content. He even asked me, like, oh, are you a crypto analyst? And I was like, I guess so. I don't really call myself that.
Yeah,
But I was like, that is a way better term than content creator, because sometimes when we say KOL, or key opinion leader, aka YouTuber, content
taboo.
creator, that is not a great name, just because, yeah, there's some bad reputations due to bad KOLs. It's kind of like saying you're investing in crypto and then people think you're just investing in meme coins and gambling.
E-
Well, there's
Exactly.
actual technology and real stuff behind the scenes.
Yeah, exactly. You just nailed it on the head right there.
Hmm.
And it can give you sort of the wrong idea. Someone could get an opinion on you that's completely false because of, some things that are tied in with that title, KOL, crypto trader. They immediately think the worst, right? Oh,
Yes.
probably dumps on the community. Oh, gambler, scammer, so on and so forth, right? That are tied in with some of those things.
Yeah, and honestly, they're not wrong, because that is 90% of the stuff you see online, where it's
Sure.
mostly gambling, it's mostly people pumping things, and it could even be bots because it's so anonymous.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. Eddie said there's no more echo and I sound better, so that's good to see.
That was on
But
me. My bad on that.
yeah, no worries, no worries. At least we figured it out.
Mhm.
But exactly. So I guess how you present yourself when you're meeting other builders in the space, collaborating, networking, depending on who you're collaborating with. I
Mhm,
guess how you
mhm.
present yourself is something that's important.
Right, right. So let's get your thoughts on gambling, because I saw this thing, Splash XYZ, Splash.xyz is live, fair launch on Sui,
Okay.
create, trade, repeat. Basically, it's pump fun, but they call it Splash. And
Okay.
I just want to get your opinion on this. They just launched this. This is May 21. Today is May
Wow.
22, at least in Taiwan. The fair launch platform on Sweet Instant launches basically launch a coin.
Yeah.
And before we get into some of the other numbers, they introduced this just last week. So, you can create these pump fund platforms fairly quickly, right? And there isn't really, at least it's kind of hard to find out what is before that because they post so much. But considering that they launched this week and announced it a week ago, they have 321,000 followers.
That's
No,
insane.
that is insane because most of these Sui teams and communities and projects have like anywhere from 5 to 50,000 followers that have been building for a while that are
Right.
established already.
Right.
So
And they've
red
been
flags went
out a
up.
week. Red
Yeah,
flags immediately.
yeah.
Definitely some bots in there. Come on.
That is
Definitely a
like
good amount of bots.
300,000 bots if anything.
I was gonna say maybe even 310,000 bots
Yeah,
on the
maybe
fact that
311,000. Who knows? Let's see.
on how new it is. I won't lie, I do like the name and I like the branding.
The name,
Splash,
yeah.
Sweet, because Sweet's like it looks like a raindrop, looks like a
Right.
water droplet. The logo, and then you got Splash in the colors, little things like that. I like the branding. And what have you been on the platform? Have you played with it yet?
I haven't. We can take a quick look. Let's see. I think just from the description, I was like, oh yeah, it's probably a pump fun. I have read
Okay.
and agreed to the terms and conditions. I'm just kind of curious. No one opens this. Let's see if it's actually a
No one
thing. They
touches
did.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's a
So we'll
quick
take a
chat
look at
GPT
it.
prompt.
It could be, yeah. So May 20, pretty much, yeah. They just cover their bases, and there's obviously all risk when you use one of these platforms. Launch a token. How it works? Launch a Sweet token now with just a few clicks. You can go into how it works. How can I participate? Explore tokens. Trade. What is my personal profile? So yeah, they are planning on being the pump fund of Sweet, which is great if you have a high risk tolerance. But if you've been in crypto for a while, you know that none of these will make it. Like 99.99% will fail. There might be one or two that actually make it out of here with some gains. So you're playing a very rigged game. It's kind of like playing blackjack, but the dealer is only allowed to give you fours and tens.
Yeah. It's really slated against you as far as the odds. Most of these are, I would like, either experiments, scams, are just going to be failures. Very few, even like look on Pump Fund, which actually has the volume and the liquidity going on.
Oh man.
I personally wouldn't be gambling on these. What are all these ones with the
Yeah,
exact
yeah.
same
They're all different addresses too.
logo?
So maybe there is a real one and they all copied them. Maybe it got a little traction. So like, oh no, we're also that one. So that's what happens with these pump fun coins. If there's any kind of success for one coin, everyone's gonna copy it.
Really? Yeah, well, that's
Yeah,
how it goes. That's the game,
yeah.
especially with the meme game.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
just so
Michael
ridiculous.
Kohler, please share that alpha. We'll bring it up if you got any. And yeah, we'll if it's terrible alpha, we're gonna judge it. That's what we do here.
Yep, we keep it real.
So yeah, we're just going through this. Obviously that's not the real Bluey. That's just someone who put the photo up there. And I guess they all start with an opening price of like 12,600 for the market cap because that's what base price seems like. Now,
Yeah,
as a more long-term investor, I'm not going to touch any of these. This is just like I'm just gonna just roll out of here. I'm out of that
yeah,
one.
yeah, yeah.
So
But
for any like great
Splash
branding.
itself, does it have
Yeah,
a token? Will it have a token?
it's possible, but if no one's using the platform, then that token won't do well. So Double
Yeah,
Up had a launch too recently. Let me bring that up. Double Up is a gambling platform on Sui, which it makes it hard to recommend because I'm not in this to get people addicted to gambling.
yeah, like yeah. That's not really, I guess, in line with the style of content, but it is. and can be an opportunity, maybe just with some disclaimers, of course,
That's true.
never go
That's true.
beyond your means and understand the risk before doing it.
Yes, yes. It's mostly like I don't think public figures really recommend these gambling platforms. It's mostly anons.
The, the greedy ones do.
Yeah. All right. So we found Double Up. Let me bring it up here. We're on birdeye.so. They specialize in all SWE listings, and you can kind of see that as soon as they launched, it dumped. It just continued dumping. They are a gambling platform, and I think they use this launch to really exit because the people exiting were the people who already had tokens. Like, because public tokens didn't release, I think, until here or here. So I forgot when, but yeah, everyone just kind of exited.
Yeah, like I'm gonna procure the value right now. Interesting. So that's before the token even went into pretty much went live before they had a public LP.
Yes, yes. And it's straight up gambling. Coin flip, craps, live dealers, I guess that's blackjack, slots, yeah,
Yeah.
blackjack roulette, range, plinko, limbo. And what's interesting is because I was going through the SWE developer documents, they give these as examples for things you could do. So I think either Double Up maybe was like a SWE dev who was like, all right, let me give some examples on how people can do this and I'll build out the platform. Or some guy saw those examples in the documents, like, all right, that's my platform now. I'm going to use this. I'm going to build this out.
Wow. I mean, there
That
is a lot of money, I guess, from the builder standpoint and potentially the community standpoint when it comes to GambleFi. When you look at
mhm.
things like RLB, I don't think there really has been anything to reach the level of RLB on like some of these alternate chains like SUI yet.
That's true.
And I feel like that definitely is the product market fit when you're talking about DGens crypto. A really good, solid gambling platform could do numbers. Again, we don't recommend or promote gambling. And if you do, definitely know your limits and stay within your means. But
Uh,
some of these GambleFi projects from the token standpoint could actually have some really good upside. I think when alt season comes back. So that's actually one of the sectors I'm actually keeping an eye on because a lot of crypto users are degens and gamblers, just like we talked about.
That is true. And once you get them hooked, they're going to be in it. So
Yeah.
we got some alpha here. Let me bring some of this stuff up. Uh, from Michael Kohler, Banker will support Solana launches on Friday, and I've heard from a credible source the player is talking to Coinbase about listing, which is possible. I don't know if I'm looking at the right
At a
one though, but
54K market
that's
cap,
that's too low. Like this can't be the right one, right?
$346 volume.
Yeah, yeah, that can't be
Hey,
the right.
Michael Kohler, is this the right one?
Yeah, please let us know. I just looked to Dex Screener and I typed in banker. Um, so you were saying support Solana, so I was guessing it was on base already. Oh, no, it's this one. Why is the
Okay,
first
yeah.
listing showing 54,000 for the market cap and the second listing is 34 million? It should show me the
Because of the
second
ticker.
listing first.
No, because of the ticker, because your ticker exactly matches the first
Oh,
one, whereas the second
you're
one's
right.
BNKR. Yeah.
Oh, okay, because I went through
Otherwise, it would have showed you the largest market cap first.
you got me. Yeah, because I typed it in from the message. So
Yeah.
this is the real one.
Okay.
34.4 million. AI projects have, started trending back up in the last few weeks.
Yeah.
We kind of saw that with virtuals as it's
Damn.
really reapproaching its new all-time high. And so is
That's
this one. This could be a thing. I actually don't know what this is. So let's take a look what Banker is and does. Are you familiar with
I
it?
like this chart. I am not. Michael Kohler did comment saying wrong CA. The right one is around 35 million. So that's definitely the right one. We saw that 34. So your friendly AI powered crypto companion.
Swap.
You're frozen, by the way, on my side and sound robotic. I'm not sure if it's like that for the YouTube as well. So that
Got to open. So my Wi-Fi is better if I open the
Oh
door
wow.
to the room.
Okay, now you're kind of back. You're kind of buffering a bit.
So my understanding with this, before we chatbot, you say, hey, buy this coin. It does all the swapping for you. It all does bridging, and you just hit go. So I'm guessing that's what that is. Let's take a
Nice.
look. So I gotta sign in. Or let me just hide that, because you guys are degenerates. All right. Let me.
Is it on Soul?
It's actually making me connect my X account first. So let me just connect that thing. There was a base contract at the homepage from what I remember seeing just a second ago.
Okay.
GM, how
Well, it's
can I
multi-chain
help you?
maybe.
So swap half of my banker to example coin, bridge $5 of ETH on base to Solana, swap. I've seen quite a few of these though. I don't know if you're familiar with this, but I've seen quite a few of these like chatbots that do all the extra work of bridging, moving assets, things like that. But this one has an extra feature: deploy a coin. Now, Coinbase
That's kind of
launched
cool.
their Coinbase Wallet SDK with some AI features that help you do this, and I was playing around with that for a little bit. So yeah, it's pretty cool. But this isn't for me because I'm already accustomed to all these different networks and platforms. This would kind of be someone who isn't a complete noob and who isn't a degen. It's kind of like that small window where, like, all right, I know what I need to do, but I don't know how to do it.
That sweet spot.
hmm So it could be a thing, but we'll see. We'll see. It's hard to drive demand for these things.
And the
And
space
the
is
AI
getting a
narrative,
little
right?
saturated.
It's so
It's getting a little
saturated.
saturated, man.
Yeah, we
Especially
saw
like you
one of
mentioned,
these
someone doing
projects.
this. Yeah, I saw one in Dubai
Yeah, we saw it
presenting
at
on
the Sui
stage.
a pitchathon or pitch fest.
Oh, and at Pitch Fest as well.
Mm-hmm.
There was
Mm-hmm.
that one event where we first met up. The guy who just got off stage
Yes.
was pitched something like that, and I was kind of intrigued. And then you're like, bro, there's so many of these, and I'm like, you know what,
Yeah.
you're kind of right. And then now I'm seeing Banker. It's very similar.
Yeah. So,
So
I wouldn't
that's the one
bet the
thing with
farm on
that. It's
this.
like
Yeah.
definitely wouldn't bet the farm because there is likely one that has more hype, more popularity, and they all kind of
hmm
do the same thing. So I wouldn't just take a shot in the dark at which one's going to be the winner. Do
hmm
you like to use these though from like an actual
No.
user standpoint? You don't play with
Hell
these?
no. Because I feel like I don't know if I can trust them. Like what if they vibe coded this? What if like my funds aren't safe through their platform? Because you have to send them your funds, that they won't manage your own wallet or existing wallet, which I don't want it to. And it's like, am I gonna get rugged on this? So I honestly don't trust these yet, just because I don't want to be the
Right.
first one on the roller coaster that they just built.
Yeah, no, fair to say. I love how you just said like I don't know if they vibe coded this. Now vibe coding is probably more prominent than it's ever been because of all
hmm
the tools and new like AI tools that are at our disposal. And users who may not have a coding background are able to put together, software, digital products, sites, dApps. Can you kind of tell the difference when you're on a vibe coded experience than something that's from the ground up?
Not really, because even if you are a programmer and you understand how to do this, you are going to use some AI to help you build out some of the infrastructure. But
Right.
like if you don't know how to create code safely, that creates a danger. Like I don't know how to create code safely. I can vibe code stuff, but is it going to be safe? Nope.
Right. Well, I guess you could use AI to also try to audit your own vibe coding, but
But yeah, but that AI might not know all the little nuances. Maybe
yeah,
it just misses something. So
yeah, they mess up too. I just thought
so
that was interesting.
So I've been working on this NFT thing with a developer, and we can't really dedicate our full time to it because it's not making us money. And that's what you also have to think of. Like the most devs that are skilled have full time jobs. They're gonna be busy, and if you are hiring out a dev to build something out for you, you actually have to pay them money if they're any good. And it's just all things like that when you kind of build up a business. So, you kind of have to think these through. I mean, BankerBot looks pretty clean for how it's set up. I'm not saying that it's a scam or anything, But I'm just saying the demand might be not be there. There might be a lot of similar products, and when you're looking at projects very early, kind of have to understand like, are they in this for the long term, or are they like a pump fun project where they're here to get in and get out?
Yeah, that's very important. I will say I do like the theme of the UX, like that
Hmm.
sort of retro. Um, but again, I wasn't too aware. I wasn't as locked in with the AI agents as you were during that season, so you've seen a lot more than I have. So you'd have a better assessment on that. And immediately you're like, okay, the competition's deep on this and it's getting really saturated. So that's a big turnoff for me, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still
Oh,
holding some AI agents. Kind of held some to zero, but there's still projects like I believe in because
yeah,
like, all right, I met the team, the devs are building something. Some of them have been in this for years. Some of them
right,
still have like these massive partnerships, and
right,
that makes me wonder like how do you sell the story? How do you sell a story good enough to get attention rather than just people actually building? So I think that
right.
is the difference between like a good marketer and then a good dev. Devs do not know how to market. That's just something I've heard from
Yeah.
devs. Like they don't want to do it. They just like, I just want to build this thing.
Yeah, no, that's totally facts, and it's important to play the role. I can't remember which tweet it was by Jupiter. It was funny. I think it was Banter that pointed it out, and it's like this is what happens when you have a dev trying to be a community guy. Everyone kind of
Yeah.
has to, play their role, or else it can be a little bit awkward in certain
Yes.
things. But
Uh,
yeah,
uh,
that's what I love about crypto.
we got a few comments. What was the name from the AI agent who played Minecraft? That was a
Bra.
Block Rot, but the token name was Brat. I'm still holding. I didn't sell any of that. That is pain, but I still believe in the vision of AI content creation and entertainment. Now, the company that did launch that is like a kind of a legitimate company. They're called Alias.app, and they create VTubing software. And they've still been updating that side of things where they're coming up with another launch soon where that might be some stuff. I can't, I forgot what's public, what's not, so I can't say anything because
Right.
it might be wrong or it might just be mistimed. So I'd say look to those builders. Alias app was like one of the winners for like the Sonium ecosystem launch Kickstarter thing. So that's
Really?
just something. Yeah,
So they're gonna be
they're
on Sonium as well, or they're doing a separate launch? That company doing a separate launch on Sonium.
they probably do a
That
separate launch. I don't know if they're going to have another token or if just like services or support, but their VTubing software is pretty good because you can use it on a regular phone. You don't have to install anything, and the user experience was fantastic because it just go. You just hit go.
it's really easy to just dive in and use it.
Yeah. Now, Michael Kohler says, Dan, once you find your banker wallet, you can swap by talking to it on your X in Warpcast, which is cool because, yeah, I have X in Warpcast. I just want to know, Michael Kohler, honestly, how often do you use it? Do you like that experience? Do you prefer using that rather than swapping something yourself? And then other things too, like is it just doing like a market swap? Are those fees the same or even higher than swapping it yourself? Like is it going through a DEX aggregator? So I have so many questions. I guess this would be a deep dive myself if I was gonna
Right.
look into this and see like, all right, is this providing more value or less value to me?
Yeah, good call. Well said.
So we
So if
got
you're away
Sean.
from your main computer and you see a C8 on your timeline, you guys are always so informative. Thank you, Shankaro. Appreciate it. We try. So if you're away from your main computer and see a CA on your timeline, you can still ape.
That is
Or just
true. That
for
is
banker.
true.
Right.
Yeah, that is true. But
It's pretty handy.
uh, I always lose money getting greedy, and that is like the hardest lesson to learn. Just patience, build
Yeah.
long term, and honestly, like sometimes I sell stuff I shouldn't to buy stuff that goes straight down. So
Yeah,
we
yeah.
all
Sell
want to
stuff that you
manage
shouldn't
our
to
risk.
buy stuff that you shouldn't.
Yeah, and I'm not saying this to bring down your spirits about the bull market or anything. I'm just saying this to have a little, maybe a little behind your in the back of your head, thinking like, maybe I shouldn't put in this much risk. I should minimize my risk, maybe take some profits off the table, hold it into something a little stable. As someone who has round tripped several times on many investments.
Yeah, I can totally relate to that.
Hmm.
And it's just something that you learn with experience, right? And you get better at taking profits, you get better with your entries and your strategic sizes. It's easy
Hmm.
when the bull run comes on to get greedy and for your eyes to go big and like, oh, let me just ape in, like, let me go 50% of my total portfolio. And it's easy
Yes.
to like drink the Kool-Aid and just kind of get lost in the euphoria. You could have had a
Hmm.
couple trades that went well, and it's like, oh man, I can't miss. Like, let me go heavier. Like, I'm about to get rich, and
And
that a lot of the time is the famous last words, beginning of the
yeah.
end, and then before you know it, like you drank the Kool Aid and you've lost a lot of money. So it's important to have risk management. Like, make a very clear cut strategy before you go deploying into alts and stick to it because it's easy to forget your fundamentals and forget your strategies
Hmm.
when things are super excited, super bullish, and you just like, yeah, F it, I'm just going all in. I'm gonna make so much money, right?
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
cool head.
Like it just takes one mistake and then you're out and then you miss out on the rest of the bull market. So we don't want to
Yeah,
do that. Right now, I probably have 10% in high risk stuff, which is not too
nice.
bad.
That's
And
responsible.
it has to be responsible. Otherwise, if I lose that stuff, like I have to get a job. So I'm like, let me be responsible. I'm not trying to like become a millionaire.
Good for
Like my
you, man.
realistic goals is to live the same, but with less stress.
Yeah, yeah, live comfortably. Live
Yes.
comfortably. And good discipline on your part. Just sort of realizing that I guess a lot of that came with experience, right? We've been in the space for a few years now. We've
Hmm.
had our fair share of rugs, bear markets. We've seen our ups, but you know how to manage your risk and your portfolio size. There does come a time, or different opportunities that may present itself. You'd be happy you had that dry powder or didn't go all in a play, and you could still deploy to new opportunities. Because a lot of the time for me, after let's say getting wrecked after aping in heavy or getting rubbed, then 2 days later you see on your timeline project that went parabolic that you were aware of,
Yeah.
and it's like, oh, I could have gotten into this or whatever the case. So you want to give yourself room for opportunities.
Right. So I'm going to answer your question in a second, Eli Hernandez. But building on what you just said, Josh, the only reason I get greedy, I think, is because, yeah, when you see on your timeline, someone did a 50x uh, leverage trade and came back with 10,000%. And like, I want that too. I will also get 50x. And then you're liquidated immediately.
Oh man, yep,
So that's the
exactly.
comparison. You can't anchor yourself to other people. And that's what's going to cause you to lose the most money.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. So that's the thing. Sometimes you gotta keep a level head in this game. You're gonna see a lot of things go down. You're gonna see plays, 100x plays that you weren't in on, and you're like, damn, I want to hit that. And you're gonna see things happen, but you have to keep a level head, stick to your strategy, and staying disciplined. You're bound to do well eventually in the space because there's so much money moving around. There's so much volume and motion and different opportunities that pop up every day. There is big plays that 10x, pretty much every day, every week at least, especially now with more of upward momentum. There's going to be
Hmm.
opportunities that present itself. So you want to keep yourself available, keep yourself in the game. You never want to
Yes.
be fully wiped out of the market. Always
Oh,
want to be
yeah.
able to
Yeah.
make a play.
Yeah, it's like the marathon just started, and you're like, all right, full sprint, going all out from the very beginning.
Yeah,
And then you're burned
exactly.
out and you miss out the rest of the party.
Exactly. Because it's very easy to lose money in crypto if you're not careful.
Hmm.
Like
Hmm.
if you're just going on deck screen and you jump on what's trending, that could be a trend that lasts
That's,
us for the next couple of hours, to be honest.
yeah. Yeah, I've tried
And
that
before you
just because,
know it,
like, all
you're
right.
wiped out.
Yeah, I've tried that just because, like, all right, I see people do this, they talk about this. Let me see if there's a science to it, if there's a methodology to actually make money
Right.
doing this. No, they are all rugs. As soon as you invest,
Yeah.
its liquidity's gone.
Yeah. Mostly rugs. You might have, you might get lucky, catch some of the upward momentum, last a few hours. Yeah, it's tough. But then in the same breath,
Hmm.
I actually did that and got into with. and I was actually in one
Oh,
of the first couple thousand holders. I was in like the top 3,000 holders of With, and I treated it like another one of those. I'm like, oh, this is gonna probably run in a few hours, and
which
the
it
thing
could
is sold
have.
for like which it could have sold for a 2x, and yeah, then With ended up going on to do like over 1,000x.
But the problem is now you held too many other coins, which you thought were going to go to 1,000x, but went to zero, right?
Exactly, like the boy who cried wolf.
Yeah. So let's answer this one. Hey, Dan, can you send a link to the best exchanges and how to start trading in the crypto space? So I guess it depends on where you are. I think if you are new to crypto trading, staying on a centralized exchange a lot safer because you don't have exposure to all these rug pulls and new investments that haven't been vetted yet. And I know once a coin launches on a centralized exchange, it dumps, right? That has happened
Right.
continuously through the bear market. But as we are approaching the bull market, a lot of those investments are going to start looking more attractive as new retail investors come in and are looking for a place to buy safely. So I think there are going to be some opportunities there. As far as best exchanges, honestly, it's all the same thing. It depends on what kind of experience you like, what kind of coins are available on that exchange. The pricing and fees are pretty similar among everything except for like Coinbase and PayPal. Those are like the most expensive places to
Scam.
buy crypto. Yeah, so you're gonna get killed there. But if you're using something else, I'm gonna shill like my stuff, BitGet, Weeks, Blowfin, Mexi, any of those, like even no KYC, those are going to be safer for you if you have a large amount to invest. Then yeah, you might want to stay on Coinbase or something else like that. But you know, Coinbase has actually caught some heat because they leaked some customer data. I think we covered that in a
Yeah,
previous video, where
yeah.
the customer service reps were compromised with bribes and gave away the data of the wealthiest 1% of Coinbase holders. So attackers had all their personal information, picture, address, social security number, phone number, email, and that became very dangerous. So that's you know, I don't think that's going to continue to happen, but that's just it is easy to identify those type of scams and try to stay a little safer and avoid it. So yeah,
Yeah,
but if you're looking for
crazy
educational content,
situation.
join Off Brand Crypto. We're going to have more support for people that are interested in learning more detailed stuff, and then the general community for news, trends, and you know, maybe some degen stuff that we're doing in the very short term. That's stuff that you can only look at for like a week or something.
Yeah, facts, facts. Off-brand crypto, super excited for that. You had mentioned about exchanges. People were asking about exchanges, what they should use. Also depends on your jurisdiction. Me being in Canada, a few of them are actually um not available or pretty much banned. Like Bybit I can't use even Binance, a few of the different ones. So depending on your jurisdiction, I use BitGet, and there's a few other great ones. For real commented saying fumble when I was talking about With. That was a huge fumble. Being in
Uh,
the top 3,000 holders or
don't make them
first
feel bad.
3,000. Yeah,
Yeah,
man, that's
don't,
pain. But then at the same time, we're looking in the right places and we're gonna hit the next one. There's always a new opportunity in crypto, and
right.
we live to trade another day.
Yeah, honestly, that
And
was good risk management. But the difference, the thing that really makes people makes these meme coins succeed is the community. So you need like a
yeah,
crazy community
yeah,
who will nonstop shill it for you, and that's like those are the ones that succeed.
you need some dogs in the community. And the thing
Yeah.
about that is, it's like to be honest, that's a big thing, and can't wait for you guys to join Off-Brand Crypto because this community vibes and just the community identity is something that goes so far in crypto. I think that a lot of projects overlook, especially a lot of projects that actually might have some amazing tech, may not be a meme coin per se, like With that did build an amazing community. That's like a master class in that. Whether it's a utility coin, a meme coin, community is very key, and that community
Yes.
identity I feel like goes a very long way. For instance, how Hex, they're called the Hexicans, and they had actually a lot of really passionate, diehard communities that
They
even
still
would ride for
do.
Richard
It's
Hart, and they
crazy.
still
Yeah.
do. right? And they'll shill it to the grave. They'll shill it to their grave.
Mhm.
Even despite it being down 90% or whatever it may do, they'll shill it to the grave, and they have a crazy community. So off brand, we're aiming to really build that community identity. People say crypto is like a cult. I don't like to use that word, but like we're gonna be a very tight knit community and do some fun stuff. So excited for that.
Yeah. There's it's a pretty big vision for that, and there's going to be a lot of benefits for early holders. There's going to be some
Yep.
incubating of quality projects where you get early access to things. Just because we want to support these early stage builders that we see on the ground, where there is no investment to you, but if you support them through our community, that could be something. So
Yep.
things are starting to come together, and I think you're going to enjoy it. So link is in the X profile. So yeah, find my
Okay.
X profile. You'll see it there.
Yep. Over on X, we're live on X right now. You
Mhm.
can just go ahead and check out Off Brand Crypto, brand new. How is the Twitter? How old is the Twitter now?
Not that old. So let's see. Actually, maybe it is old. It was from like another um dying account. Let's see.
Okay,
So we are on the X space. I don't know if everyone can hear clearly. We got 4 followers, guys. Oh, it goes
let's
to WAP.
go.
It should go to Discord. It should go to Discord. WAP is the paid community stuff, but that's going to go for additional support for new users who maybe want that educational content, want that hand holding, want like answers immediately in a safe zone. Because a lot of communities have paid communities. So we're probably going to steal the model from both and provide the support to the ones that need it and the information and opportunities to the ones that are already familiar with what they're doing in crypto.
That's right.
So
Coming
that's the wrong
soon.
link, but yeah, we'll update it with the Discord link. It's on my profile. Yeah.
Coming soon. Coming real soon.
So that's it right now. So yeah, check that out. All right, I want someone asked for a quick review, so I do want to hit them with that. It was a little further up. I think it was Ferris Network. Here we go. Dan, can you review your review about Ferris Network? They just launched their testnet 3 days ago. So let's take a quick look at that.
Why does that sound familiar?
It does sound familiar. Let me see. Okay, I actually didn't have it up. Let's see. Ferris Network testnet live high performance EVM layer 1 for RWAs. Sounds familiar. I believe Mantra Om was that for a little bit. That collapsed.
Exactly. That's
One
exactly what it was.
one of the newer projects, newer layer 2 blockchains that is also doing EVM for RWA is Plume Network. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's a competitive space. Let's see. It depends on their partnerships, who's using them, and if they have any traction. So they are in testnet, fastest EVM compatible layer 1. Okay, hold on. Before we jump into this, I think in the future we should play buzzword bingo, where maybe we come up with all the buzzwords like
Yeah.
fastest, layer 1, EVM, blockchain, put it on a bingo card, mix it all
Scalability.
up, and then have the audience play with us as we go into these reviews. I think that'll be a lot of fun,
That'd be
and I,
hilarious.
I don't know if we can reward anyone with something, but maybe we'll take a look at one of their coins that they're investing in and not give bad news. We'll just like, all right, only the positives. We'll play only the positives.
Because every season has its own buzzwords. Every single year, there's new ones. Every single new
Mhm.
narrative or sector, there's new buzzwords. I remember when it used to be metaverse. You get to hear
Yes.
metaverse, and the project like, oh, they're building a metaverse.
Yeah.
What would you say is the most recent buzzword, the current buzzword that's trending?
Oof. I think they call it something markets. Who they were saying something markets, but they were just talking about meme coins. But I forgot how they phrased it, but I was like, that is like a fancy word for meme coins.
Okay, that's a new one
Yeah,
then,
it
because
escapes
I'm
me
not
right
familiar
now.
with that.
Yeah. They it was like adaptive modular markets or something. I don't know what it was. I was like, that's not a
That
thing.
sounds like a buzzword. That sounds like a
Yeah.
buzzword for sure.
All right, so let's read this. Unleashing TradeFi in Web3. I was like, okay, we got a couple there. Fastest EVM compatible layer one. Ferris is an ultra fast EVM compatible blockchain designed to revolutionize finance by seamlessly connecting traditional and decentralized systems. Our deep parallel architecture enables internet scale performance, empowering trustless innovations and unlocking new possibilities in Web3. It's just a layer one blockchain, guys. It's pretty much a layer one
Yeah,
blockchain. You said a
yeah,
lot without saying anything. Like there was
yeah.
not anything unique there.
And honestly speaking, off the rip, those are some of my usual red flags. I can't lie to you.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, when they just say a whole lot of extra words, and it's like they're just over, I guess, over presenting for
yeah.
something similar, something so simple. They're a layer one, EVM layer one.
That's it. Yeah, you didn't have to say all that. It's just like, hey, we specialize in RWAs on chain. That you can just say that and like who you are
The
and what makes that
fastest.
valuable. The
Are they
fastest. That
really
doesn't
the
mean anything
fastest? They're not
anymore,
the fastest. They're not the
dude.
fastest.
I mean, Ethereum is fast if no one's using it. You know, that's fast enough
Yeah.
if you're doing one transaction. As a RWA, you're not doing thousands of transactions per second.
No, you actually nailed it. You nailed it on the head.
Mhm. So, highlighted features. Unleashing extreme layer 1 performance. Ferris is a full stack parallel blockchain platform pioneering hyperparallelism
Hyper,
to
hyper
revolutionize
parallels.
the intersection of traditional and decentralized finance. Excuse the
Man.
emphasis on all the buzzwords. We kind of have to
Yeah,
like
they bust
identify.
out the thesaurus. They must have the crypto
Yeah.
buzzword thesaurus ready because we got the
No.
hyper parallelism and
Yeah.
extreme layer one performance.
I
It's
feel like that's what.
extreme.
Yeah. That's what
I
you would
think
get
that
with
whole thing is extreme.
ChatGPT.
Yeah,
Hey,
exactly.
ChatGPT, I got a layer one blockchain. Make it sound fancy. All right,
Make it,
not
yeah,
fancier.
exactly. Use big words.
Fancier.
More,
Hyper
more. Instead that
parallelism.
Kobe mean more. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the one thing too, man. When they're going heavy with these, um, oh, gigagas, 2 gigagas per second.
Damn, that's 2 gigagas, bro. That's 2 gigagas.
I can't lie to you. I'm not sure if I sound silly. I've never seen gigagas.
How much gigagas? Two gigagas?
Nah. I've never
Oh
seen that.
man.
What is that? No, chat. If
Damn.
you've seen gigagas before, let me know because I've
Yeah.
never seen. What's gigagas?
Yeah.
That's actually just
Yeah.
cracking me up.
Yeah, scalability 1 billion. Basically, they say they're fast, and again, there's a lot of fast blockchains. You know,
Right.
you don't even need like crazy TPS for like RWAs unless it's super high volume, which isn't a
Right.
thing. So you know, they aren't really bringing out anything that is substantial yet. But you said they're in testnet, so that could create an opportunity for an airdrop. So
Yeah.
if you are looking at this, I'd say just get paid. Get that airdrop, get paid. Let's see how much did they raise. Which did.
I was gonna say, yeah, check how much they raised. But then the fact that these projects with some of these this presentation are able to actually close VCs and raise millions of dollars, it's
Oh,
like
they raised,
wow,
yeah. They raised 8 million.
even eight
That's not a
mil,
lot.
even that's not a
That's
lot,
a
but
lot.
even that's a lot, but it's not a lot at the same time. I know what you mean, but
Mhm.
even 8 mil, then for the giga gas hyper this extreme. If we're picking up on these things, how are the VCs not like, come on, bro?
I don't,
And
yeah, I
then like,
don't, those
okay,
VCs
here's an
know,
eight
those
million
VCs are
dollar
ready
check.
to dump. They know the
They're
play.
ready to dump, and they're like, okay, they're playing into the hype, into the buzzwords, but like, bro, what is the game at that point?
Right?
Like, what is the
It's
game
it.
like? Because a lot of like you see a VC backed project, you say, okay, they're legit. They probably have some real, the developer power,
Mhm.
resources. I can expect a real product here, a good product. And a lot of these VCs are like, oh, I think people are gonna buy into that. We could dump on retail, and get at least a couple X's on our $8 million.
That is the absolute play. This is a sophisticated meme coin. This is a meme
Yeah,
coin with
man.
some lipstick on it. You know, it's like, all right,
Exactly.
here we
Yeah.
go.
Exactly. In sheep's clothing. You got it
Yeah.
in sheep's clothing. And so yeah, you gotta watch out for these VCs. I've seen hack in a few different projects, but I look at this project and then I see, oh, they've raised money. from anyone,
Hmm.
and I'm just a little bit confused. Like,
Hmm.
I don't know, man. Maybe I've been in the space not too long, but like I've just seen so many different projects. This website could be put together very swiftly,
Very
honestly,
swiftly,
quite
yeah.
easily, very swiftly, and I don't see anything that like is groundbreaking. Can you? Is there like a dApp you can click into?
Let's see. Ecosystem, just ecosystem grant. So they got no dApps available. They said the testnet is live. I don't know what you're going to do there. I don't know if there is an airdrop and if that airdrop is going to be worth your time. Because if they raised 8 million, the airdrop is probably for the team to really dark farm and exit with, and probably not for regular people, as we've gone over in previous chats.
That's how it goes a lot of the time.
Yeah.
A lot of the time, and then actually get some of that VC money out in a cleaner fashion, which is crazy. And then the VCs are still looking to dump at profit, probably on you retail.
Hmm.
So it's a tough game. I'm just still appalled that they were able to raise anything. That just to me just shines a light on these VCs. They don't care if it's like good enough and they can make some money. They'll
Yeah.
contribute to the seed round.
Yeah, we know what they're doing. They're here to exit. They're probably got a good deal on it. Like, all right, we'll invest in you, but we got to be able to exit day one. Like, you don't get
Yeah.
no lock for us.
Yeah, no lock, or what is unlocked has to be more than what our initial investment was.
Yes. So that is Ferris network. I'd say if you're looking for an
Arrows.
airdrop, go for it. Now, I was lost for the I forgot the word earlier, but error 404. Thank you. You got it exactly right. Internet capital markets. I believe
Mm,
Kaito was using this term for investing in meme coins. I don't know if people were using it as a joke, but yeah, they were saying like I invest in internet capital markets, which just mean meme coins or early stage like crypto investments.
right.
So yeah, that's the fancy term for meme coins right now that people are allowing you to do. So that's another term for like what's being launched on Pump Fun.
Internet capital markets.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been offline for actually quite a few days with these conferences, so it looks like I've been missing like some trends because even honestly, 2 days away from CT, a week especially away from CT,
It's
I
a
feel like
lot.
I've missed everything. I feel like I'm so behind. So
Yeah.
getting up to speed with some of these new things. Now I'm seeing new buzzwords and new lingo.
Let's see. And we got this event from Biz Knowledge. Just stop buying memes. That's true. There's too many meme coins. It's too easy to launch. I'd say, you could even join a meme coin community. You don't have to buy the coin. You just want to see what they're talking about, what their you know, thoughts are.
What the alpha
A lot
is.
a lot of it's an echo chamber, which is great because you kind of get to see that. You get to like, all right, I see what they're doing here. Am I in similar things in other communities? And it really gives you a little
Right.
more perspective.
You know that it's really good to get into
Mhm.
communities, see the vibes in the servers, see what the team is saying, see what the team's announcing, how active they are. Gives you a feel for the project, how they're building, if they're actually building, and you can go ahead and use that to compare with other projects and just to add to your analysis tool belt, I'd say.
Mhm, mhm. I got a question here from RAR CES. Do you still use Pionex? I still have an account. I still have some assets there. I don't use them as much, just because there's. I try to stick to certain platforms. I'm mostly in DeFi for the degen stuff. If I am using in exchange, it is for perps, and I kind of use that for a couple other things. So it's not saying anything is good or bad because I know that one of the Pionex guys, and he lives like down the street from me, and he does Muay Thai. So
No
I'm not
way.
gonna say anything bad. I'm not gonna say anything bad. Don't want him to kick my
He's
ass.
a trained
It's still
fighter.
a good platform. It's still a good platform. It depends on what you're looking for, what kind of coins you want, what kind of support you need, what kind of tools you want to use. And they still specialize in trading bots. And I think they also are the ones who launched GMGN, which is one of the best decentralized exchange platforms you can get just because it gives you a lot of additional information that you
Right.
don't directly see on Dex Screener.
Yep, exactly.
Will the market dump after the crypto bill in America passed? I don't know what the current crypto bill is. I think I missed that completely. Are you familiar with that?
The crypto bill?
Yeah, just generic
I
crypto
didn't catch
bill.
up
Yeah,
with that. No, I
but
didn't.
I
I
feel
didn't
like
catch that.
if a crypto bill does pass, I feel like that's just ultra bullish. Like, all right, now people feel maybe a little more confident about it.
More secure.
Maybe businesses can get more exposure to it as the dollar gets weaker. They might want a different type of asset that is Bitcoin when it comes to some of these businesses. So for me, I think that's bullish. Like I don't think the bill passing would be a dump. The bill not passing might be a dump though.
Yeah, but with Sanjay, I can also see why he's asking if it may dump because a lot of the time, no matter how bullish the information is, a lot of the
Yeah,
time we see sell the news events.
that's
When
true.
when the ETFs even came out, which was I would say is honestly probably equally level of bullish for the time that it was. We've never seen the ETF. We didn't see like a crazy pump right away. I think the bill is definitely a bullish thing,
Mhm.
but something that we may see play out not immediately, but like in the following even days or weeks after it's passed. A lot of these things have like a delayed reaction because people are playing the rumor and selling the
Mhm.
news, right?
Right, right. But with the market momentum, I don't think it's going to dump. If it does, just a
Yeah,
little bit, just a little bit.
I was
So
gonna
we're at,
say with the market
yeah.
momentum that it's a different game.
All right, so we're at an hour 16 for the full stream. We'll probably close up soon. We'll answer a couple more questions. We got this from the Lonely Wanderer. Dan, do you think Sui rival Aptos is going anywhere? Now, I'm not
Oh,
too familiar with like all the Aptos things happening. Like I'm out of the algorithm. If you're on X, you're in these certain buckets of news and
mm,
posts that you're going to get within your feed. But
right.
during Token 2049, shout out to Token 2049, one of the best crypto events out there. I'm counting this as part of the videos I create for them. that they had a chat by one of the Aptos founders or leaders in the space, and they were talking about what they're building and the infrastructure. And I get it. A lot of it was really catered to institutions because Token 2049 was more of an institutional conference, and they were catering to the institutional players that were there, and they were showcasing their technology, what they're onboarding. I think they were doing some big things with RWAs. So I think Sui and Aptos have really diverged into two different things where maybe
Right.
Aptos wants to target traditional finance and create the rails for them, while Sui is kind of all over the place in a good way.
Yeah.
They're building everything that a consumer can get into, which is the most important thing because if you want users to be in crypto, it has to be easy. So,
Yep.
I'm still crazy bullish on Sui. We were at Sui Base Camp and we saw that energy. We saw the builders. We saw some of the new things coming out, and yeah, I'm bullish on it.
Yeah, I like your point there that you made with Aptos being a little bit more industrial and then Sui being user first as far as the products that they put out. Sui's been just killing it with the, like you said, consumer products and
Hmm,
how
hmm.
easy it is to use their blockchain, use their wallet, the Slush wallet, and things like Stash and all these useful tools that just make crypto easier. So I agree there. Do you want to pull up Daryl Jones' comment real quick? All's
Yeah,
barely moving compared to BTC.
that's true.
I think
That's what
I think that's
happens.
been the story. I think that's been the story of the last almost 12 months of
Right.
BTC having upward momentum and us not seeing an alt season. As I've mentioned on a few streams, I think actually a huge catalyst for that is ETH in particular not seeing that sort of follow up play to Bitcoin as in the previous cycles. And I feel
Hmm.
like ETH not finding a proper bid has actually what's been holding down altcoins. As I mentioned, ETH to me was still Goku when it comes to the Dragon Ball comparisons. And I feel like that is the key. With ETH being down, I don't think we're ever going to see a proper alt season. But once ETH picks up steam, the rest of the market will lift up. That's my opinion. What do you think?
Absolutely. Absolutely agree with that. Now, typically, when there's a Bitcoin pump, Bitcoin sucks up the liquidity from the market because people see it pumping. They want exposure to it. They don't want many alts because they've seen what happens before. A lot of these alts start. going down in price as Bitcoin goes up because that's where people want to invest with that momentum. Now, this could happen for a couple days, a couple weeks, we're not sure. But as we've seen in previous cycles, Bitcoin will pump for a while, then it'll slow down, and then maybe ETH
Yeah.
starts pumping for a while, then that slows down, and then all the alts start pumping because like, all right, well, things are cool, it's not dumping. Let's take on some higher risk assets. That could
Yeah.
be potentially what happens. So I'd say just be ready and position yourself accordingly with the right amounts of risk.
Yes, 100%. Risk management always important. Stay in the game. Stay in the game. Don't get
Mm-hmm.
wiped off the market.
Yes. And then Joseph Gleason. So the bill they were talking about was the stablecoin bill. Now, I wasn't familiar with what's going on with that, but we can ask our friend Grok what's going on with it.
Perfect.
Here we go. What's the
What's the
U.S.
word, Grok?
stablecoin bill in simple terms? The U.S. stablecoin bill, primarily the Genius Act, that's a pretty good
Okay.
name, in the Senate and the Stable Act in the House, aim to regulate stablecoins, digital currencies pegged to the U.S. dollar to maintain a stable value. Here's a simple breakdown. What they do. The bill set rules for companies issuing stablecoins to ensure they're safe, transparent, and protect users. They focus on stablecoins used for payments, settlements, not other cryptocurrencies. So, yeah, we could potentially see stablecoin payments in regular stores. So, key
Right.
rules licensing companies must get a federal or state license to issue stablecoins, reserves, transparency, consumer. Okay, so, why it matters. Stablecoins are growing fast, over $230 billion in market value, and are used for quick, low-cost digital payments. The bill aims to prevent fraud, protect consumers, and stop illegal activities, while keeping the US dollar dominant in global finance. They also try to keep innovation in the US by providing clear rules so companies don't move overseas. I think this is okay. I don't think this is that big of a deal,
Groundbreaking.
right? Yeah. What are your thoughts on
I
this?
wouldn't say it's groundbreaking. You know what? Immediately I thought of that one project in Egypt. I'm like, okay, this is good to
Mm-hmm.
start projects like that, that we saw at the Sui Pitch Fest,
Mm-hmm.
that pretty much let anyone create their own stable coins. And we
Yeah,
looked
and
at
I
each
was like,
other
that
like,
sounds terrible. Yeah, that's a zero. That's a 0 out of 10.
yeah, so at least with this bill, you need a federal license to go ahead and do that. So there's at least some more trust with these
Yeah,
stable coins among, let's say, new users or people being onboarded to Web3. So I think that there's like something there, but I don't think that's like a market shaking bill per se. But maybe this is the beginning of a set of bills that give crypto more regulation in the US and make it more, you know, safe, or per se, and more approachable for Web 2 people and such. Old money.
that's true. But now that we have that bill in mind, that just makes me remember USD1. I don't know if you remember that. That is USD1. It's a stable coin issued by World Liberty Finance, a decentralized finance project linked to the Trump family. So
Whereas
I think USD1, that's what the real plan is. Like, all right, we want everyone to use our stable coin and we're going to earn interest off it.
they definitely have that insider access to push their stablecoin if that was the play. It looks
Mhm.
like Trump is actually having getting exposure from a builder standpoint into every sector now. He has
Yeah.
he has like the hedge fund style thing with World Liberty Finance. He has the
Mhm.
meme coin sector with the Trump token. He has a couple of NFT projects that he's launched in the past. So it seems like he's actually getting his hand in a bunch of different things. Now he also has USD1 stable coins in the stablecoin game as well. So Trump
Yeah.
is making sure that he is cashing in on the crypto craze from different angles. He's not missing a beat. He might drop an AI agent soon. So
I
like
mean, he could. He probably could. He's going to drop a new layer one.
he literally exactly new layer one,
Yeah.
the Trump chain, Trump network,
Trumpherium.
Trump Ethereum, yeah, something crazy. So yeah, he's shooting a shot with a bunch of different things. It's kind of just funny to me to see.
Oh, oops, sorry. Go ahead. I was
Yeah, no,
opening up to some
that's
other
just
links.
crazy. So now, I wouldn't be surprised. Like you're probably gonna see USD1 at the next crypto summit, or maybe it's gonna be in the strategic reserve or the digital asset stockpile. Maybe they
Yeah,
keep a reserve of dry powder in USD1 or
yeah,
something like that. Couple billion.
and I mean honestly, I'm being neutral on this. So for any government officials watching, I'm very neutral. We're just sharing what's happening.
Yeah, this is
Bec-
just for educational purposes only.
Yes, because I've heard for people going to the U.S., they get their phones scanned and searched, and they look for any content that would be maybe negative towards Trump. So I'm like, this is neutral. This is neutral. We're just saying
Really?
what's happening. Yeah. So I'm like, I haven't visited L.A. I was actually planning on doing that, but
I was
might have
gonna
to wait
say.
till the heat dies down.
I thought you were mentioning that because you had just recently been to LA. So that's what I was gonna say. Did they actually take your phone and scan it and let or go through your phone?
Not mine, but I've seen that on social media. This is happening at like all airports, LAX, Chicago, New York, and this is the what people are purporting. That's what I've seen from like TikTok and Reddit. So I believe them.
Wow.
Like I'm gonna believe them and not take
Wow.
that risk because I
Wow.
don't need
Wow.
any heat right now. Plus, the whole
Yeah.
airport thing. There's a lot of risky airport stuff happening. I'm gonna
Yeah,
gonna
that's so
gonna pass for
weird.
now.
Yeah, fair say. I had a smooth airport experience going to Dubai and back, but the
You
States,
connected through
that's
the U.S. Oh.
no. So I didn't have to go to the US, but
Oh,
that's
that's
crazy
why.
that I didn't know about these airport issues going on in the US. So
Yeah, yeah.
definitely gonna
So
watch for that. Bitcoin Vegas is actually going on now. The Bitcoin conference moved from Bitcoin Miami to
soon,
Bitcoin
right?
Vegas. It is, yeah, it starts next week.
Oh wow, yeah. So probably one of the only times where Bitcoin actually pumps around a Bitcoin event because that I just
Yeah,
remember Bitcoin dumping like during Bitcoin Miami a couple years ago,
every
and then
time.
everyone blaming them and I'm like, all right, maybe don't hold so much crypto around the
That's
Bitcoin
funny.
conference.
Yeah, that's funny. I won't be going to Vegas. I'm a little conferenced out. Had I not gone to Dubai and Toronto, I would have had the energy to go to Vegas. I love Vegas, the city, good food and stuff,
Mhm.
but I'm conferenced out, so I'm sitting this one out. Are you gonna go?
Yeah. No, absolutely not. I'm conferenced out until September or end of the September when
Yes.
there is Token 2049 Singapore, which will be there.
Singapore.
And Token
Yep.
2049, what a great event, guys. This video,
And
I'm supporting them. Full value 10. I don't know.
2049. I love Token 2049.
Yeah.
And honestly, I was there too. Cold Coincider 10, best event of the year. Also, Token 2049 Singapore happening in September. You can catch the off-branders there. You can catch Full
Yes.
Value Dan, GPT Josh there. And I think it's going to be a really good one. I've never been to Singapore, meant to go there. And looking forward to that. That's also close to TBW Taipei, right?
TBW is the first week of September, so that's Taipei
Okay.
Blockchain Week. Last week of September, that's kind of when Crypto Week Singapore starts. And in mid September is Korea Blockchain Week. So I think they moved TBW to kind of be in the conference circuit of Asia.
Are you going to do the trifecta?
Mm-mm. No, that's too much. Like, I still didn't contact most of the people I met at Dubai. So I'm like, oh, yeah, that's too much. And a lot of my contacts went cold from consensus. So it's like, I don't really need to push it that much.
Yeah, fair say, fair say. And it's tough sometimes keeping up with the contacts. It's like you meet like 30, 40 people and
Hmm.
you have a selfie with them. You got to scroll through what was their project about again? How can we work together again? And then some of them could just fizzle out if you don't follow up
Hmm.
real hard. So I know I'm going to both of them. I'm not sure if how I should do it though. If I should
I
just
mean,
stay in Asia for the month, I probably
you
should.
should stay in Asia. So I'd recommend, yeah, you hang out in Taiwan for a week or two. Maybe go to Malaysia. Malaysia is really cheap. So maybe go there for 2 weeks and kind of travel around and just make your way down to Singapore.
That would be sick.
Yeah.
I kind
Like
of
you
did
could get
something
some
similar
nice
last
hotels
time.
for like 50 US a night.
Oh, that's really sweet because I
Yeah.
stayed in Japan for the time before I came to Taiwan, and I
Okay.
had a good time doing that. And then Malaysia, like, I've never been to Malaysia. I've heard it's nice and cheap. That sounds like a good plan. I think I'll do that. Take a
Yeah,
whole
yeah.
month off.
I think you'll enjoy that. That would have been my plan if I was single. I was like, all right, let me just uh, have the free life,
Yeah,
Mostly because my
experiences.
wife, I'd go with my wife, but my wife has to work. I'm like, you don't have as much vacation time as me.
Oh, she needs to get on chain. You got to get
hmm
her on
hmm
chain.
Yeah, she doesn't trust it. Understandable.
First, it's good to have that balance in the relationship.
It is. Yeah, we both can't be degens. Yeah, we won't make
Yeah,
it.
exactly. There has to be one adult in there. I'm kidding. But
Awesome.
yeah, man.
This is a
1:30. We're
good.
at an hour 30.
Yeah, we're at an
It's
hour 30.
about
This is good. It's
and
it's time to call
and
it.
it's 1:30 a.m. and it's one
Yeah,
thirty a.m. Over where I am. Been a good stream as
it's
usual.
been a good
Looking forward to
stream.
getting active on the off-brand.
Yes, yes. I'm glad people were here. You guys hung out. We got a lot of great conversation and look forward to more soon. Feel free to join Off Brand. The community link is in my X profile at Full Value Dan, and we'll have more on that soon. So yeah,
Yes,
thanks
sir.
for joining. Amazing to have you here, Josh. And we're yeah, shill your shill your socials.
Always a pleasure. Thank you guys for tuning in. It's always a pleasure to be on the show. My name is GPT Joshua on X. If you want to follow me there, I do some airdrop stuff, some updates, and some good crypto content. Also, growing my YouTube channel, 0x King Capital. New video coming soon. First long form video, Dubai recap. Dan makes some good cameos in there. Had some good fun stuff that we did. And yeah, you can catch me over there. And you can catch me over
Awesome.
at Off Brand Crypto.
Yeah, absolutely. That's actually a running channel and socials now. So all the clips that I was posting to my channel are now going there, as well as clips from interviews or full interviews, and that's just going to be the home for all of that stuff.
Yep, can't wait for that.
All right. Well, thanks for joining, everyone, and we'll catch you soon. Maybe in 2 days we'll do another live stream. All right. Bye.
Yep, sounds good to me. Bye bye.